Being a human is not easy as opposed to an animal because we're born and nobody gives us a direction. Our parents might be a little bit, our college, teachers, etc., mentors, but generally we're on our own. And it's a very, very difficult. You wake up in the morning and you don't really know what you could choose 12 different paths. It can be very confusing and very overwhelming. When you find that sense of purpose, when you find what I call your life's task, everything has a direction. Everything has a purpose. Your energy is concentrated. It's the most exciting thing that can ever happen to you because you never have that lost feeling. You wake up in the morning and you go, yeah, this is what I need to accomplish. People come at you with all kinds of distractions and boring and irritating things. You're able to cut it out. It's just the most marvelous piece of internal radar that you can have. So I genuinely wish that everybody can find that kind of internal radar. There's no instant formula. It's difficult, but there's a process, a mystery. When you were born, you are unique. Your DNA has never occurred in the history of the universe, going back billions of years. It will never occur in the future. Your life experience with your parents and everything in your early years is unique. It's yours. You are one of a kind. So that is your source of power. To waste that is the worst thing you can do in your life. Finding that uniqueness and how you can mine that to create a career path. When you're a child, you have what psychologist Maslow called impulse voices. They're little voices that say, I love this, I hate that. I like this food, I don't like when mommy moves this way. I like when daddy comes from here. You're very cued into who you are and what you like and what you don't like. And these voices direct you in certain ways. And when you're very young, they direct you towards intellectual, mental pursuits as well. There's a book I recommend for everybody, Howard Gardner's 5 Frames of Mind. He talks about 5 forms of intelligence. Our problem is we think of intelligence as mostly intellectual, but there are many forms. There's intelligence with words, abstract intelligence with patterns and mathematics, kinetic intelligence that has to do with the body. There's social intelligence. He has 5 of them. And your brain naturally veers towards one of them. It can veer towards 2, but generally one dominates. It's like a grain in your brain going in a direction. You want to go with that grain. That's where your power will lie. So when you're young, if you go back and think about when you were 4 or 5, you can maybe get a picture of some kind of direction or voice inside of you that was impelling you. For me, it was words. From when I was 6, I was obsessed with words, almost in a schizophrenic way. I would spell words backwards. I would take them apart. I would do anagrams. I love palindromes. So I had a thing about words and language. Albert Einstein, when he was 4, his father gave him a compass. He was mesmerized by this compass. The idea that there are invisible forces out there in the cosmos moving this needle. And he's obsessed with the idea of invisible forces. Tiger Woods saw his father hitting golf balls in the garage. He was screaming with joy. He had to do that. What happens to you is you're 7, getting older, starting to not hear that voice anymore. You're hearing your teachers telling you, you're not good at this field. You need to get better at math. You shouldn't be interested in these sports or anything. You should be going this way. Your parents are starting to tell you this is the career they want for you, or the direction they want you to go in, right? You start hearing that more than your own voice. And as you get older, it gets worse. Then when you're a teenager, it's all about what other people are doing, your peers, what's cool, what's not cool. That noise enters your brain and you can't hear that anymore. You don't know who you are. You go to college, you maybe choose a major that seems practical, that your parents want you to go into. You wander around, you're not sure. And then you enter the work world without that inner radar and you're lost, right? Where should I go? I need to make money, right? And so you make a choice based on the need to make a lot of money. Not everyone, but some people do that. And I understand we all need to make a living, but that can set you off on a very bad path because you're not connected emotionally. The thing is, when you figure out that primal inclination, you have the energy to be disciplined, to go through boring tasks, to learn. You learn it faster because you're emotionally engaged. When you're emotionally engaged in a subject, the brain learns 2, 3 times, 4 times as fast as when you're not. In college, I studied foreign languages, a passion of mine. For 3 years, I studied French. Then I went to Paris, and I couldn't speak a word. It didn't teach me anything practical. I was totally confused. But I was in Paris and I loved it and I wanted to live there. I had a girlfriend and I needed to speak French to her. And I can tell you in 1 month, I learned more than those 4 years of university because I wanted to, because I was engaged. My emotions were there. I had to survive. Most of us, we don't have a need really to learn this subject. We're paying half attention. But when you find that thing that really connects to you, you're paying deep attention. Your emotions are engaged. You're learning at a much faster rate. The thing is, how do you find that when you're older? When you're 21, give people a lot of help. It's usually not so difficult. It gets harder when you're 30 and wandering around, but it's not impossible. Find my path until I was 38, 39, to be honest. So there's hope. When you get 40 and you get 50, it gets more and more difficult. And it's very sad if you wasted that seed of uniqueness that I'm talking about. And I tell people there are ways of going back, and we go through a process like archeology. We have to dig and dig and dig and find those bones from your childhood that indicated what you were meant to do. When you find your life's task, everything opens up. It doesn't mean you figured out, okay, I've got to aim for this particular job when I'm 28. That's not how it works. It gives you direction. You can try different things, experiment, have fun when you're in your 20s. You're going to learn skills, but it gives you an overall framework instead of, whoa, all of this confusion, this chaos, social media, the internet, I could go here, here, here. You're lost at sea. It gives you a sense of direction, a compass. That's absolutely perfect because the connection to what I'm talking about, it's not intellectual, visceral, emotional, physical. You feel it in your body. When you're doing it, it's like you're swimming with the current. You feel it, things are easy, everything clicks together, there's a delight. Not everything is going to be delightful. There's going to be tedium involved. There's going to be moments of boredom. But you're able to withstand the moments of boredom because you feel that deep overall connection. So yes, that's precisely what I'm talking about. For me, a similar thing is early human ancestors. I was obsessed with our ancestors millions of years ago and how it's possible to be living here now. I wrote a short story when I was 8 years old about a vulture. It was written from the point of view of a vulture watching the first humans emerge on the planet. But the weird thing is, I'm writing a new book, and all I'm doing in that book is going into early humans. And I feel like a kid again. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. So I can very much relate to your story. A lot of intelligence is nonverbal. We think in terms of images. We're very much infected by the emotions of other people. My mother is very interested in history. She's obsessed with history. And I probably absorbed her interest in history. I don't think there's a gene for that. You're going to absorb things from your parents. What you hate will have a big thing. But the problem with doing that is if you go into a direction and you're in elementary school, etc., and they force you to learn math and you hate it, what it tends to do is it turns you off from learning in general. Think, I don't want to be disciplined. I don't want to go through anything because it's painful. It doesn't lead anywhere. It's not me. It's frustration. It turns you off from learning. It's really important for a child to have the love experience early so they can know what they hate and why, and then they can rebel and they can go into that field as opposed to, I hate trying things over again. If you're kinesthetically oriented, I understand that because I love sports. You have to practice. You're not going to instantly be good at something, right? And that's going to require a love of it. But if your math experience is going to transfer to sports, you're going to hate discipline in general. It was very important for parents to let that child have glimmers of that love moment. Finished college and I entered the work world. I had to get a job. I worked in journalism. Lack of quality. It was all just about making money and getting things out there. I worked in Hollywood. That formed me very much, made me go in the direction that I went in, but only from the basis of I knew I wanted to be a writer. So that's very important that it's not just hate. It can form you, but there also has to be that positive, deep emotional love of something that also is grounded in you.